Well, hi, Cheers. Hi, I'm back with 22 books of 2022. It's interesting as well, okay, because books that came out in 2004 by an author, she's still writing today, by Carole Matthews, called With or Without You. Okay, so anyway, interesting read as well, okay, because obviously the nature of her writing style and kind of the world we live in has really kind of moved on. It's interesting as well because obviously this is at a time, okay, where there was no real social media. Everyone communicates by email, no Insta. She mentioned Beyblades at one point, no Netflix. So it's in a way a kind of like time capsule of the early turn of the new millennium. However, also some of the actions in this book would never kind of be written today. That's why I kind of appreciate it as a time capsule, because I found her lead character annoying, exasperating, and she absolutely did my head in. Okay, read the blurb. Right. When Jake tells Lyssa that it's not working, she knows she's not talking about the toaster. Her immediate reaction is to sob into her pillow and wait for Jake to come home to his senses. So Lyssa begins to understand that that's not an option. In a bid to escape, she embarks on a trekking holiday in Nepal. Lyssa needs to get away. It never occurred to her that she might fall in love. When it's time to go home, back to reality and a very sheepish Jake, Lyssa is faced with the hardest choice of her life. So, it starts off with them, they're struggling, they're together, they're not married, okay, but they're cohabitating, and they're going through IVF, it is not working for them. And I was like, is the fact that they're not married just kind of makes the whole thing more convenient, because the way it's set up is they own a property together, they're not married, which is actually for a time period quite unusual. Okay, because most of them would have been married for several years and trying for a baby before it all went tits up, but still. And Jake literally over breakfast says it's not working. At the time, he's saying, I'm moving in with my friend. He's not. He's moving in with Neve, who he's having it away with in the office. Okay, and the dynamic with her is, she lives in a place she can't afford. She's living like her best life. She thinks she wants a baby. She is a editor, and it's interesting as well, okay, for someone who works in publishing, we never really see a lot of the publishing world. She goes to her office and talks about it, but we never really see that aspect of her life. No, wanting to care about articles or deadlines or that kind of thing. Okay, right. And also as well, okay, she has a sister Edie who is okay, interesting as well, okay, because one is wearing the most designer clobber and the other one is her sister. I absolutely love this. Okay, right. What can I say about my youngest and only sister Edie? Similarities: we share the same mother. Sometimes we are pleased about this. We share the same hair colour, blonde. We have a cut into a classic bob. I go for a top of the range hairdresser every 4 weeks. I pay £84 to get it trimmed back in the shape. Edie goes to the hairdresser at the end of the road once a year to find a time, and has her hair hacked back into shape with a Black and Decker hedge trimmer by a woman who blew with called Marjorie for £5. I spend hours blow drying and straightening mine. I'm not used to I'm not using my hairdryer or my domestic appliances, of course. I'm not even sure that Edie possesses a hairdryer. Now, hairdryer comes into this. Everyone seems to think because um, Lyssa has this thing, okay, about her hair being immaculate, of always being immaculate, okay. She can't cope. She can't cope with anything, and sometimes it actually shows that for herself as well, okay. And the thing is, whilst the case she's kind of struggling, okay, with her her home flooding, having to hire an electrician, not knowing where the fuse box is because that's men's work, okay. It's kind of like she's never really done anything. She's in her mid-30s, and she's so focused on, always looking perfect. And the whole kind of like gender roles, she's never put any shades of fuse in her life. She's never done this, she's never done that. It's always been someone else to do it for her. And she comes across very kind of needy, whiny, pathetic. And obviously now, okay, we're kind of fortunate we've got the internet to sort that stuff out for us, okay. If I can't figure something out, I will just Google. There's always a YouTube video, okay, to sort that out with. But obviously, infancy, okay. But the thing is, Jake moves out to lead his best life, and it's not working for him because Neve, his new girlfriend, his current girlfriend, the one he dumped Lyssa for, doesn't actually need him. It's really kind of pathetic, Basically, the grass is not greener, as Jake find out. Right. After he'd been out to get some essential supplies, he spent all day kicking his heels, watching sport and sky, and generally feeling like he didn't belong here at all. Neve's apartment was fantastic. It was his dream home. Now that he was here, it felt very stylised and manufactured. His old house had been homely and cosy. To say you found it suffocating, but still felt comfortable putting his feet up on the sofa. Maybe when he'd been here a lot longer, he'd settle in and be able to treat it like home, instead of feeling he'd been accidentally dropped into a long loft living photo shoot. Okay? Right. Right. And this is at the time, okay, where he's pretending that he's living with his mate Pip. Okay? And he's not in the equation. But of course, Lyssa finds out, okay, because this book is kind of set it up, to her to find out. And, okay, I don't know, maybe this is the way it was, but Lyssa's got these weird kind of observations about people. She makes these really, really stupid judgments about people, okay? Right. This is when, okay, she follows Neve to a sandwich shop, okay? That ain't Greg's. Nowadays, it'd be Greg's. God, I love Greg's. Right. Right. I have a brie and cranberry salad on granary, she says. She looks like a brie and cranberry type of woman. Her voice is cool and confident. I notice that she doesn't say please. Perhaps she's used to other people saying please for her. Right. It's just like, oh my god, she has brie and cranberry in a sandwich. Oh my god, the humanity, they're not end to the madness. There's absolutely no end to the madness. Okay? So, Jake says to Lyssa, well, Neve is not like you, okay? She's outgoing and she's sporty, and she's going on this trek to the base camp of Mount Everest, not climbing Everest, just to the base camp of Mount Everest, okay? Hey, I would have preferred it, okay? She actually would have been climbing Mount Everest, would have found that a bit more impressive. I hated Neve as a character, but anyway, I hated Jake, I hated Neve, and in some respects, I actually hated Lyssa, so it works out perfectly, okay? And once again, the hair comes in, okay? Right. Right. This is when Jake's found out, okay, about the trek to Nepal that Lyssa decides to go on. Right. Where were you plugging your hairdryer? Is that all anyone thinks of me? I have to admit, it's the one thing that's worrying me the most. That and having to go to the toilet behind a bush. Lack of sanitary facilities has been one of the main reasons for eschewing the great outdoors. Okay? Right. Jake's shoulders sag and he stops to his chair. Don't do this. He says, please don't do this. Okay? And for a moment, I've nearly forgotten I'm not supposed to love him anymore. I can't stand this space, this void between us. Right. I feel this is all my fault, Jake says. I thought it was all Jake's fault too. You washed your hands of me, Jake, I said flatly. You left when I needed you the most. Okay? So, and he calls her out on it, okay, because whilst Jake has moved in with Neve, she doesn't really care about him. She's actually not faithful to him. So, he's like, he's really, really screwed up here. And however, this all conflict started, okay, because they had issues as conceiving a child, going through the motions of IVF. And at the same time, one thing I did not appreciate, okay, was Lyssa. She was subconsciously, in a way, blaming Jake for this. Blaming Jake for the fact, okay, she couldn't get pregnant. When it was the fact is they've been together for a really, really long time. However, they had never really disclosed that in Lyssa's past, she had ended a pregnancy and it left her with issues conceiving. So in a way, they're gone through IVF with him not knowing this information, even though they should, because they're partners, they should be sharing this stuff. If you're going to spend a life with someone, you should know this stuff. So in a way, Jake was blaming himself about his fertility. Subconsciously, Lyssa was blaming him in some kind of respects, in a bit of kind of passive-aggressive way. Oh, you didn't get me pregnant again. Whilst keeping the fact, okay, that the onus, tragically as it is, was always on her. That's not fair either. She is actually a horrible person. I loved her. Absolutely loved her. Okay, and maybe because it's me and because I'm a solo traveller, okay, but I found Lyssa really, really kind of pathetic in some respects. Is she thinks, okay, look at me, I'm a businesswoman, okay, with my 80 odd quid bob hair, okay, and even though, but I don't know how to fix a fuse, I don't know how to sort my life out. And guess what here, right? This is chapter 26 when she's heading off, okay. I'm 34 years old, and although I've been on a plane gazillions of times, I've never actually flown alone. How bizarre is that in this age of supposed emancipation? And it's quite an ordeal. Jake normally sorts out the money and tickets and the passports and checks we have the right gate number. My duties have always been restricted to plundering the taxi shop for perfume and booze bargains. Touching my nerves, I developed a pathological fear of losing my boarding card. God, how pathetic is that? It's quite an ordeal. It is not quite an ordeal. Okay, it's easy. Okay, just take yourself these 3 words. Okay, passport, tickets, money. 3 words you need to know. Passport, tickets, money. Okay, right. So, solo traveller here. So yeah. So the thing is though, while I was reading this, I was like, okay, let's go get to Nepal. Show me Nepal. Show me this fantastic places. Show me where, I've never actually been to this part of the world. Okay, so show me how great it is. Show me how beautiful it is, and that does happen. Oh, but it doesn't happen. Okay, because literally 2 pages later, she meets the actual one. She meets the one she's going to spend the rest of her life with. She meets Dan. She meets Dan, and she's a little smitten kitten. And this whole kind of trek of, finding yourself and self exploration, and kind of, you need to find your own inner happiness before you can find happiness with someone else, is all bollocks, because literally 2 pages later, okay, she's going after Dan. Right. Even when she describes him. Right. His hair is black and unruly. It looks like if he's been chewed by a wild bear or starved by a blind barber. He has soft brown eyes the colour of freshly dug earth, and when he's not smiling, which is rare, pale delicate lines radiate from the corner of his eyes where the sun has failed to kiss. He has an amiable, healthy tan which probably makes him look slightly craggy and maybe older than his years. There's no evidence of psychedelic trekker-type clothing. Dean is wearing combat trousers, a black t-shirt, black boots, and an army dog tag. Looks very cute. I'm sure I recognise him from a trendy arch-shaped advert, but doesn't appear as if his looks have been put together as an image statement. Yeah, yes. And literally, they are, so they see each other, they're just, forget about the people on the trek, which would have been interesting, okay, to see the kind of dynamics and the conversations, okay, about why we're out here, what we're looking for. It's all about Dean. It is all about Dean, okay? Even her attitude, okay, to the other women in the group who are surrounded by Dean is mentally back off from my man. She becomes, I don't know how to describe this. Okay, this woman. Okay, instead of showing me, okay, the reader, okay, this man, incredible trek across the country. It's okay. So we're going to teach some orphans. We're going to drink some tea. We're going to do some dancing. Yeah, the typical kind of tourist stuff. Okay, I think the author actually went there. I think she's probably got this off the internet. But and in between, okay, it's Dean and Lyssa staring loving each other's eyes and sneaking off together and all that. And also, one thing I found really, really distasteful, and head writers do this all the time, okay, there's no excuses, doesn't matter, okay, what decade, alright? Alright, it's been here, okay, this is when she's describing the people at the camp, is a Saffron, okay, alright. The only other single woman is Saffron. I probably need to go no further. Probably likely the sort of woman I'm going to end up being. Saffron is strident, childless, and very slightly mad. She already told us she's holding a full compartment of homeopathic substances, but she's holding a full compartment of brain cells. I'm not entirely sure. She comes to dinner wearing dual-coloured floaty captain with slightly incongruous in the mountains. Saffron works as a relationship counsellor, and I'm going to avoid getting in conversations with her like the plague. I expected her to be a vegetarian. I thought I'd run away from everything, but maybe I've just had a vision of my future if I don't change my ways. She's my Bob Marley. Oh, Ghost. Sorry, I don't mean Jacob Marley. I'm glad Saffron, too, has opted for a solo tent experience. Otherwise, I'll be sharing with her, and I think there's a lesson to be learned there. What the hell? So, yeah, I'm going to turn out to be Saffron, okay, because she's into homeopathic medicine, and she likes floaty dresses, okay, and if I'm not careful, I'm going to turn out being her. Hey, Saffron sounds cool. Saffron sounds kind of chill, actually. I wouldn't mind chilling out with Saffron, okay? Not talking about relationships, okay? Saffron's the kind of person, okay, I'll talk about anything with. But in between, okay, obviously, okay, this book of, Dean, who is an absolute saint, he teaches the children off to bed, he makes virtually no money, he lives in a mud hut, okay? And in between, okay, the massive, sessions between the two. Back in the UK, Edie needs sister who has like a brood of kids. She's conflicted, okay, about her marriage. Her husband is a bit of a actually does this one thing really, really crappy, okay, is the fact is, okay, that Edie's going out and says to her husband to watch the baby, and he's like, oh no, I can't watch the baby. It's like, it's your baby. She's got like she has 6 kids, okay? Right, yeah. It's like, I know, I can't watch the baby, it's like, yes, you can, it's your baby. I just left him with the kid and walked out. But she's, anyway, but they get it all sorted, okay? But Edith kind of thinks about marriage, and she thinks that um, Jake's friend Pip is interested in her, when actually she's interested in Lyssa, because obviously it's the 6 kids as a barrier. Okay, it sounds quite confusing. Okay, but the thing is, in Tibet, they get together and they're very very happy. At no point does Liz ever question, has he done this shit before? I mean, I'm just a tourist on a trek. I mean, am I like, he's like little, pickup, of the tour. Okay, but he's so nice and good and decent and living in his mud hut, teaching the children off the bat. He's American. He's got virtually little no money. It wouldn't be obviously from the country, obviously. Okay. Oh no, because no, that's not for someone like Lyssa. Okay, right. I think okay, her tourist experience can only go so far. Okay, she doesn't actually go with someone actually from the country. She goes from a an American, right? Okay, and this bit here, okay, this is when okay at the end of the trek, which just basically them just whatever talking about their stupid relationships, okay, and just falling in love and all that, right? Mhm, right. But of course, okay, so much focus is about Lyssa's look. She even can't resist it. Okay, this bit here. I've really gone native in my time away. My body is toned and tanned, burying the bits you're allowed to expose. I got freckles on my nose in lieu of makeup and hands the colour of mahogany. My hair is bleached by the sun instead of chemical highlights, and I can't remember why I last plucked my eyebrows, even though I did bring my tweezers. Edie will be proud of me. My sandals have been lost their pristine look and as dusty and battered as the rest of me. Right, I've got hard skin on my feet for the first time in years, mostly wearing a floaty caftan type dress, sort I ridicule Saffron for, and the sort I won't be seen dead in at home. Okay? Right, it's big and blowy, and it covers me from head to my feet. It is all the statutory elegance of a Boy Scout marquee. And guess what? I don't give a stuff and I feel great. I feel great. But when it comes to Saffron, Lyssa can't resist one more dig. Okay? One more dig. Because early when I came, when she first met Saffron, in no okay, she actually bought a dress from her. It's, oh my god, if I'm not careful, I'm going to wind up being Saffron. Okay? And then again, he drops a spit. Alright? Saffron hasn't come out yet as a lesbian. In fact, I think she's quite disappointed that none of the single guys have made a play for her. My time is running out for her now, as it is for me. Saffron hasn't come out yet as a lesbian. Right. In fact, I think she's rather disappointed that none of the single guys have made a play for her. So is Lyssa suggesting that being gay is like, I don't even know. I don't even know. So what is it? Okay. So as no men find me attractive, I'm gonna come out as a lesbian, or that's what it's kind of basically saying. I hate you. But anyway, get back to the UK. Jake's broken up with Neve, who was pregnant with his kid, but made a decision to. It's her body, her choice. And so Jake moves back in to the house, and they're like, we need to make this work. But Lyssa's thinking of Tibet, and she just decides, okay, her jacket all in okay, she's an editor. And I was like, well, that's for the internet, you could actually go out there, okay, and be like a correspondent and write articles for them, okay, but become a bit like a freelance writer. But decides, okay, to jacket all in and become a teacher in Nepal with Dean. Doesn't actually tell him that she's on her way. She just jacks it in. She gets a job out there and she just goes, okay, to teach kids. I know, and now it would have been like I would have contacted you over the internet. I would have, put things out there. I would have become, freelance. But she's going to jack it in and teach kids. And she's found like a charity who's going to teach her how to become a teacher to teach kids. Right. And everyone kind of breaks it amicably. And as soon as she gets back to Dean, he pops a question straight away. Right. Okay. With or without you by Carole Matthews, I found this book really pathetic. Um, and just God, Lyssa was just awful. Lyssa was absolutely awful, and it's interesting about kind of the time capsule, the early like 2000s, but nah, it's everyone apart from I think Her sister Edie, but who was contemplating and maybe suggestion, okay, with Jake's friend Pip. Most people in this book are just awful people, do awful things. And at no point can Lyssa even stop and ask herself, does Dean do this crap with every single female on the tourist trek? Anyway, I sign off here. For 22 years of 2022. Bye now.